Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome again to the Fortune Eagles Screen Share webinar. We hope everybody had a great new year. My name is Greg Phillips. I'll be your host. We just want to get started here. We hope everybody had a chance to see our videos of the week, the last 2 weeks, because as everybody knows, that's really what the Fortune Eagles platform is about, is sharing information so that we can talk to our friends and family, because as the times start getting a little bit more complex than what they are right now, we want to make sure that your friends and your family are aware of the fact that these things are happening, they must happen, and that we just want to get ahead of them and be in front of them. That's why the gifting platform of Fortune Eagles and the Feed Me and Fund Me platform are very, very important, because that'll give us an opportunity to get away from this debt-based system and be able to help our friends and family. So with that being said, I'd like to open up the floor because I know Brian has some updates he'd like to go over before we get into the concept of the Fortune Eagles platform and why it's so important in this day and time. Brian, you now have the floor.
All right. Thanks, Greg. Appreciate it. Welcome, everybody, to the Thursday night webinar, 14 Eagles Thursday night webinar. Glad that you can make it. Have no fear. This webinar is being recorded. So if you have anybody that was supposed to come to the webinar tonight, once we get the video sent out, the recording sent out, please make sure that you get it to those individuals that didn't get a chance to come tonight so they can get the information. The first thing that we want to do is go over the updates. Know everybody is still waiting on the platform to come back live again so they can start registering and getting people involved in the platform again. I have good news and bad news. And I'll start with the good news first, is that the problem has been fixed. I was told last night by the developers that they had found the problem, they fixed it, and everything should be ready to go. The bad news is they're still testing it. So we have to let them test it again just to make sure everything is the way it should be. And as they're testing it, after they test it, then they'll put it back onto the live server again and be able to open up the registration sign-ups so people can start getting involved and get the show on the road again. We apologize that we have to go through this, but it's a necessary evil, so to speak. You know, anytime that you're dealing with this software, software technology, there's always going to be glitches and things that happen. And when you build these softwares, the only way that you can find out what the glitches are is that you have to use it. Because even when you're not live and you're testing something, when it comes to the software, you still don't find out what the kinks are until you actually go live. So they're trying to be painstakingly careful this time to make sure that we don't get any more glitches in the system, and we're hoping that they can take care of all of that before we go live again. They will be informing me when we can go live and the registration is ready. And I'm hoping that they let me know that tonight when I get a hold of them, and possibly we can have this thing up by the weekend. If not, have no fear. We're going to get it up. Just hold on. Nobody wants this more than I do. Believe me, I've been chopping at the bit to get this thing back up and going again. We have a lot of things that's getting ready to come up here in this new year, and I hope everybody had a good new year coming into the new year, bringing in the new year. I hope everybody was safe. Nobody got hurt. Everything went well, because this year is going to be the year, all right? This is going to be the year of vision, 2020. And it seems like everybody is catching on to that phrase in the year 2020. And so we're going to perpetuate that phrase. This is the year of vision. This is the year for people to see what they need to do, see where they want to go, see what's been happening throughout the past and all of our lives. All right? It's time to awaken from the slumber that we've been in, from all the knowledge that has been hidden from us. All right? 2020 is the year for everybody to be able to see and have vision, and we're going to perpetuate that. So this is the year, y'all. This is what we've been waiting for. What we're on right now, and if you're on the website, you're looking at the 14 Eagles community website. If you're on the computer, and this is what the 14 Eagles community is all about right here. Is everything is on this website. 90% of what you want to know about 14 Eagles is right here on this website, and this is just the beginning. All right, this is a work in progress. We're continually expanding this website for you, all right, because we have a lot of things that's going to be going on in this coming year, and it's all pertaining to this website. All of you know, the ones that have been coming, that 14 Eagles is a virtual community. We're building a virtual community here. We're building a community that's designed for people to help one another. Right? We're getting out of the real world. Right? Technology, we're using technology to get out of the real world and be able to go into a virtual world so we can do whatever we want to do without any repercussions. Right? Where we can come together and help one another in the way that we want to help each other, and not being dictated to by the structures of the real world, by the so-called real world. So we've built our own world in the virtual world. And this site is our virtual community. Now, before I get into the concept of 14 Eagles and what we stand for and what we're all about, one of the first things I want to go over with everyone is let me see if I can find it here. Nope, that's not it. And bear with me, I may have some computer issues here, so I want to make sure that, here we go. My computer's been acting up lately. All right, here we go. Before I get into the meat of the matter, I want to go over the thing that people are going to run into and people have issues with whenever they see these types of platforms that we have here at 14 Eagles. And for some reason, this holds a lot of people back, and it's only because that people have been misinformed, and their thinking has always been skewed on programs where you have to bring people in or invite people or quote unquote recruit people. And so one of the things that we want to do is we want to kill the myth that people have in reference to platforms where you have to invite or recruit people. And so I have here on the screen a brief definition of the word pyramid scheme. Because whenever you come to someone and you present them with a platform or a program or a business, and most of the time it's in network marketing or MLM, the first thing that comes to people's mind is that, oh, that's one of those pyramid things. And most of the time, most people don't even really know what a pyramid scheme really is. They just hear the word and they associate it with anything that they have to bring somebody into. And that builds up a false myth about what's going on out here. And so we want to dispel that myth, we want to kill that myth, and we want to make sure that you understand what a pyramid scheme is, so you'll not attach that to what we do here in 14 Eagles. So the brief definition of a pyramid is: a pyramid scheme is a fraudulent system of making money based on recruiting an ever-increasing number of investors. And the key word here is investors. The initial promoters recruit investors who in turn recruit more investors and so on. The scheme is called a pyramid because at each level the number of investors increase. Now there is a much more elaborate definition of a pyramid, but I just wanted to give this shortened version of it just so you can see what this really entails from a snapshot point of view. Now, the key word here is investors. Anytime that you bring someone in to anything and they are investing their money, and when you're investing your money to get some type of rate of return on your money. So anytime you go into any program where you're investing your money, and the people who facilitate that program take your money, your investment, and they turn around and give that investment to other people, that is illegal. So in other words, in an investment scheme, in a pyramid scheme, the first people that come in will always get paid from the monies that the last people that come in put into the system. All right? That is a pyramid scheme. When people come in, the first people come in, and the last people coming in, the money that they receive from the last people that come in, that money is given to the first people that come in as a return on their investment. That is a pyramid scheme, and that is illegal. And in most cases, when you're dealing in MLM, network marketing, gifting platforms, that is never the case here. Okay? Because in most of those programs, most of those platforms, there is some type of product being sold. And there's an override in those products that's being sold. So therefore, it's not an investment scheme. Those are direct sales, all right? And people confuse that as a pyramid scheme. Why? Because it's mostly because you're bringing people in, and they look at the structure and how it's built. And so, for the most part, it's the structure that really gets people thinking that it's a pyramid scheme and that all the money is made at the top of the structure, right? So they visualize this pyramid, and they visualize the person at the top of the pyramid is making all the money. And so when you have to recruit somebody in, they just automatically associate that with a pyramid scheme. And it's not the case. And especially when it pertains to a gifting or some type of contribution program, like 14 Eagles is. Right? Because when you're sending a gift to someone like we do in 14 Eagles, you're sending a gift with the knowledge that you're not receiving anything in return. You're giving from your heart to someone else to help someone else out. All right? And that's already a known fact. So you're not expecting anything in return. But what that does is put you in a position to receive a gift from someone else. And a lot of people get that confused. So we want to dispel that. We want to get rid of that myth right up front. We don't want anybody to have any preconceived notions about 14 Eagles or any program that 14 Eagles is involved with as being a pyramid scheme. Now, real briefly, to go over what is in people's minds is the actual structure of a pyramid. And this is what they're mostly confused about. And if they really think about it, the pyramid structure that they're really thinking of is actually what they're dealing with in their everyday life and don't even realize it. So if we look at this picture right here of corporate America, and you let me know if this is a proper structure of corporate America, a pyramid. Here you have a pyramid or a triangle, so to speak. And in corporate America, the biggest area of the triangle or the pyramid is where the employees are at. And that's where the bulk of the people are in this pyramid structure. Now, in this pyramid structure where you have the employees, of course, when you come in, you either recruited in by a recruiter, or they have some type of job fair where you go in and you solicit for a job in that pyramid structure. And when you get in there and you get the job, you get the position, well, you try to attain and work your way up the ladder, right? Because that's the American way, to work your way up. And as you go up, the higher you go up in the pyramid structure, the less positions that there are. So when you go into lower management, okay, because when you're in a low entry-level position, to move up is to go into management. And so the lower management is like your supervisors or assistant supervisors. All right? Well, to be a supervisor, there's only so many supervisors. So if you attain to be a supervisor and you get to be a supervisor, well, the next step is upper management. Well, quite naturally, to go to upper management, there's even fewer positions in upper management. But if you happen to attain the upper management position, well, then the next step is to become what? The CEO. Or maybe there's a board of directors and then CEO. So the higher you go, the less room there is for you to attain the position at those higher levels. So coming in from an entry level as an employee, what are your chances of getting to the top of this pyramid? Think about that for a second. Now, for the most part, for most people, it's almost 0 to none. Maybe every once in a while, 0.001 person might get to the top, because most people are recruited in, there's that word again, most people are recruited in to this position, the CEO or the president or the top of the pyramid. All right? You very rarely start out down here in the company and get to become the CEO. Well, that's the corporate structure. That is the pyramid that most people have in their minds when they talk about recruiting people into these different programs, because they're already stuck in one and don't realize that they're in one. Now, let's look at the difference. Let's look at the other way. Let's go to network marketing. Let's look at that pyramid for a second. See, in this pyramid, right here, everyone starts at the same position. I don't care who you are. I don't care what, how much money you've made in the past. It doesn't matter. Everyone starts at the same position. Nobody's recruited at the very top, coming from a different company. That makes sense? Everybody starts at the same position. And as you move up, there's always more room for more people to be at the higher levels. And so getting to the higher level is what everybody wants to attain. So there's always room at the higher levels. Does that make sense? That's the structure of a network marketing system. A system where people work together. Now watch this. Let's look at them side by side real quick. You have corporate America over here, and you have network marketing over here. They're both pyramids, right? They're both triangles, but they're in different positions. And this is what people get confused about. See, over in corporate America, in order to move up, somebody has to move out, right? Now, if I'm a supervisor and you're trying to move up and take my job, would I show you everything about my job and how to do my job the most efficient way in order for you to take my job? No. Why would I show you everything that I know so you can become a supervisor, and because you might be better at it than me? So why would I show you everything that I know about my job so you can take my job? That's financial suicide for me. Now, the only way that I will give you my job is if I find me another job higher up, right? That only makes sense. So that's why it's difficult to move from an entry-level employee to a manager position or supervisor position. That makes sense? Because you have to wait for somebody to move out of this position in order for you to move in it. But over here, in this pyramid structure, if I'm in this pyramid structure, based on how this works, because people work together here, it makes sense for me to show you everything that I know to how to move up in this system. Why? Because if I show you everything that I know on how to move up in this system, then if that helps you move up, guess what that does for me? It helps me move up too. Because that's the way this system is designed. This system is not designed this way, the corporate system, for me to work with you to help you get to where I am. See, this is more of a crab mentality here. This is more of a helping hand over here. Do you see the difference? I hope you do. I don't want to get too deep into it because I could, but I just wanted to go over it real briefly with you to show you the difference in the pyramid structures, because that's what people get confused about. So now when you talk to someone in reference to 14 Eagles and giving them an opportunity to get involved in our community, and if they say, oh, you're in one of those pyramid things, well, now you know how to break it down to them about what a pyramid really is, right? Because most people don't know. They don't understand that. So I hope that made sense to you. Now, our community right here, we're doing a lot of things. And the best way to tell you about our community is right here on our website, on the welcome on the website. We want you to read the welcome. Whenever you come to the website, read our welcome, because it gives you a great snapshot about what 14 Eagles is all about and why we're doing what we do. So real briefly, I just want to read this. 14 Eagles is a platform that provides like-minded people from all walks of life the opportunity to help one another. 14 Eagles is not a business, it's not a corporation, it's not a network marketing organization. Rather, it's a private, invitation-only, global community of people who believe in the principle that by helping others, in that process we help ourselves. That's the premise of 14 Eagles. As we give, so shall we receive. 14 Eagles commonly uses a unique online gifting platform that allows members to come together for mutual interest, commitment, and prosperity. 14 Eagles has taken a concept that is actually thousands of years old, giving, sharing, and accepting, and merged it with modern-day technology to create a virtual community. A community that has developed its own economy of peer-to-peer giving and sharing, which provides economic stability to become self-sufficient and self-sustaining. The 14 Eagles community is a bridge used to move people from a debt-based system formed on selling, buying, and taking to a collaborative-based system formed on giving, sharing, and accepting. The virtual community creates a paradigm shift in consciousness that inspires people to work together and garners love and harmony on a whole new spiritual level. There's a universal law, God's law. Whatever you give out into the universe, you will get back in abundance. If you are someone that has a heart for giving and genuinely like helping people, then get with the individual who referred you to 14 Eagles community and let them know you want to be a part of this growing movement to change the world into the place it was meant to be. To register for 14 Eagles community, but to register for the 14 Eagle community is free. But to send and receive gifts through the platform, you will need a Cash App. You will need to get a Cash App and OG Pay accounts. Get with the member that invited you to walk you through that process. Now that's 14 Eagles in a nutshell. That's very simple and succinct and letting you know what 14 Eagles is all about. We're here to help. We're here to help people that need help. And we understand in doing this platform and building this community, we understand that everybody's not going to be willing to be a part of this community. We know that going into it. Because people out here are in a different frame of mind. And it's not their fault that they're in a different frame of mind. All right? It was designed for them to be in a different frame of mind. And so in building a community like we're building here in 14 Eagles, a virtual community of helping each other, we have to change people's thinking in order for them to gravitate to where we are. And so that's what we're here to do, to change people's thinking, to change people's consciousness. Because people have been caught up in a debt-based system that has been controlled by the corporations of the world, and been dictated to on how they should live and go about their lives. And it's been done in such a way that people don't even know that they have been manipulated. They don't understand it. They don't know that they have been. And so in our virtual world, we're here to change the way that they think and to build on their consciousness, to expand their consciousness, so they will be able to see what's happening around them. And sometimes that's not an easy task to do. So what we encourage you to do is come to our website. And one of the things that we want you to do to help you to expand your thinking, to expand your consciousness, is come down and look at a series of videos that we have put onto the website. These videos will help you to really get a sense of what's been going on around the world. All right? These are some very powerful videos, and we want you to take a look at them. And we hope that you can get something from them to get you to go out and expand your mind, expand your consciousness, and go out and research as much as you possibly can. Why do you want to research? Because you want to teach others what you've just learned. Because 14 Eagles is all about teaching one to reach one. Okay? We're here to help each other. We're here to learn from one another. See, a lot of people come to this platform thinking that it's all about money. No. The money part is a byproduct of what we do here at 14 Eagles. That is not the takeaway. That's not the cure-all. The money is not the cure-all. It's just a byproduct of what we do here. Understand that. We're not here for the money. We're here to change lives. Money is just a tool to help us do that. And seeing once we understand that, then we don't get so caught up in the money. All right? Because we got lives to change. We got lives to save. We got minds to save. That's what it's all about. Now, we have partnered with a company, Fund Me 24/7, that is on the same path as 14 Eagles. Matter of fact, our platforms kind of mirror one another. And so we decided to come together. Instead of competing against one another, we've decided to come together and work together, which we feel all companies should do that. All companies should come together and work together with one another to help build communities, to help people to thrive, not take away from the community. 14 Eagles. If you go to our website and you go to the menu, click on the tab that says 14 Eagles Video. You'll see how the 14 Eagles platform works. All right. Yes, we could show you here on our webinar, go step by step about how the platform works. But we'd rather talk about the concept and what we do here and why we're here. You can look at the video. It's only a 7-minute video. Check it out. It's a very simple platform. Very easy and simple to understand. If you don't understand it, get with somebody. They will go through it with you and answer any questions that you have. Or come to the webinar and we'll answer the questions for you. But we want you to go through it yourself. Study it. Understand how it works. Fund Me 24/7. We have a link there for them, or a video there for them. We want you to understand how Fund Me 24/7 works too. Because it's all about helping each other. See, if you have a project, no matter what your project is, let's say you have small children and one day you want them to go to college. Well, maybe you want to start a college fund for them. Well, guess what? You can do that here at Fund Me 24/7. Maybe you have a leaky roof and you need to get your roof fixed. Well, that's a project. Guess what? You can do that and raise the funds here at Fund Me 24/7. Maybe you're trying to get a house and you need to raise a down payment for a house. That's a project. Come and get it at Fund Me 24/7. Fund Me 24/7 is designed for you to raise funds for whatever project that you may have or any business that you want to start. It's a powerful, powerful system. Okay? Also, we have Feed Me 24/7. For those people, well, really everybody, that want to reach out to people and teach people about crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is the wave of the future. Okay? Crowdfunding is what people are starting to gravitate to. Right now it's a $25 billion industry. And in the next 5 to 6 years, they're talking about it's going to be over $300 billion. Raising funds through crowdfunding. So we need to get with the program, right? Well, Fund Me 24/7 and Feed Me 24/7 has changed the game in crowdfunding. Yeah, you've probably heard about GoFundMe accounts and various other programs for businesses to raise money for different products that they want to sell. But Fund Me 24/7 has flipped it upside down. So now everybody that wants to give can also be given to or contributed to. There's not that many programs out there like this. But we're working together, 14 Eagles and Fund Me 24/7. That's a powerful combination. Receiving contributions for your projects and sending gifts from one individual to another. A powerful combination. See, here in our community, we're building a virtual community and we're creating our own ecosystem, right? Where we can build from one another financially, educationally, and spiritually. It's a powerful combination. See, in the welcome it said, universal law. The more you give out into the universe, the more you get back in abundance. And see, and that works both ways, because it's about what you give out into the universe. If you're giving out something good, you're going to get back something good in abundance. If you're getting something out bad, you're going to get that back in abundance. So why not do it to the good? Why not give to help somebody? Don't worry about if they're going to give it back to you or not. This is the mindset that we have to change. All right? I don't want to preach too much on that. But I do want you to understand that's what 14 Eagles is all about. Now, watch this. You can't have a community without having businesses, though. Right? Think about it. In your real world community, if you go down the street, there are businesses down in your neighborhood, right? There's stores to go to where you can buy clothes, food, anything that you want to get. Well, why can't we do that in our virtual community? So what we've done in our virtual community, if you see here, we have businesses that will advertise to the virtual community. We encourage businesses to come, no matter what businesses you have. You could be cutting grass. You could have your own lawn service. Advertise that in our community. All right? You could have a restaurant. Advertise that in our community. You could sell makeup. Advertise that in our community. Whatever you have, somebody may want it or need it. So you might as well advertise it to our virtual community. See, one of the hardest things for businesses to do is to advertise. Why? Because it costs so much money to advertise and get it out to masses of people. Well, we're trying to do away with the fees and the high prices of advertising. Because guess what? In 14 Eagles, you can advertise to our community for free. For free. And as our community grows, so does your opportunity to sell whatever goods and services you have for free. The only thing that we want you to do to be able to advertise to our community is to help build the community. Now that's a fair trade-off, isn't it? Help build the community that you're going to advertise to. So become a part of our community and help bring people into the community, and you get to advertise your business for free. There's nobody out there doing this. Nobody. And even if you have an MLM company or a network marketing company, guess what? Advertise to the community. Because guess what that does? Creates more income for the community. See, one thing that we've learned here in our virtual community, and just in finance period, is that when you have a dollar that circulates within that community, and that dollar touches every hand 7 times within that community becomes inherently wealthy. Does that make sense? So we have a direct effect on the wealth of everybody in this community if we just all work together. We can eliminate competition. And then think about this. If you're in the community and you take part in whatever business that the community is offering, and you're receiving gifts and contributions just from the platforms that you're involved in, is money going to be an issue if there's an opportunity that comes along that you want to take advantage of? See, a lot of times opportunity comes and people don't have what? The money to get involved. Well, we totally eliminate that now, because now you become a part of a community where the dollar circulates within that community. And as long as we circulate that money within that community, guess what? Everybody becomes wealthy, where money is not an issue anymore. And so now we help each other through the platforms that we have, through contributions and gifts, and we build up our finances. And then what do? We take that, what we built within the virtual community, take that to the real world and affect a real change. There's too many people out here that are homeless, that are starving, malnutrition, bad health, and it shouldn't be. We shouldn't let that happen. We have the power to change that. And this is where it can start from, right here. This is where we come together to work together to make a change in the real world. We got to go to a virtual world to be able to affect change in the real world. I hope this is making sense to you. So now what I really want to do real quick, okay, because I don't want to take too much of your time. This is a new year. We're going to move forward. We have a campaign that we're getting ready to launch with 14 Eagles. We have a database of over 30,000 people that we have generated throughout the years. It might be more than that. And those are people that have come and gone through 14 Eagles throughout the years. And some of those people don't even know that 14 Eagles is still here. They've been helped through 14 Eagles. They thought 14 Eagles was gone. But we're getting ready to reach out to those people again. And we're going to bring those people back to the community to show them how we have grown and how we've expanded in our consciousness, and how we're going to help people, and how we're partnered and networked with other platforms to make this a viable and thriving economy, virtual economy. And as those people come back into the fold, into the 14 Eagles family, you will be able to benefit from that, from the campaign. And we got other things that are coming that's going to help greatly benefit everybody involved. So this is going to be a great year. This is going to be a year of vision, a year for people to see where they couldn't see before. That's what 14 Eagles is all about. Yeah, we have platforms where you're going to be able to receive money, you're going to receive contributions, gifts, and some of you are going to get involved in other businesses and make money. But that's just a byproduct. Those are just tools. The real work comes in to where we're learning and teaching others so we can go out here and save lives. Not just in our neighborhoods, not just in this country, but around the world. So what I want to do real quick is I want to bring up the facilitator of 14 Eagles real quick, because I want him to say a couple of words about, not 14 Eagles, but Fund Me 24/7. I want him to come up and say a couple of words about Fund Me 24/7. Because Fund Me 24/7, they have webinars on Mondays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you really want to see in detail how Fund Me 24/7 and Feed Me 24/7 work, you want to go to those webinars. They have an excellent presentation that goes in detail of how those platforms work. Powerful stuff. So that way you can really get a taste of how it can be used in the community. And let me bring Mark up. Mark, are you open? Let me see. Let me get them open. Can you unmute yourself, Mark? Okay. Greg, you think you can open up Mark's mic? I don't know how, for some reason not opening up for me.
Oh, that's what I'm trying to do now. It's not looking like it's opening. I don't know why.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Let me try this.
Okay.
Okay, I unmuted it now.
Okay, there you go, Mark. Okay, Mark, yeah, go ahead and just give us a quick synopsis of Fund Me 24/7, if you will.
Okay, peace and blessings, everyone. Let me say this first. I study this kind of thing all the time, and I was looking at some things today that says most Americans say they are struggling financially, and nearly half of Americans will retire broke. That's a sad thing, and you've gone over a lot, this evening to remedy that. And it's not just the money, but it's information. And this is why 14 Eagles, that we at Fund Me 24/7 and Feed Me 24/7 feels that it's such a great match. And it's because of the information. A lot of people are suffering because they've been miseducated, as you pointed out, and everything. And so we're here because, again, just like 14 Eagles, we want to wipe poverty out of the world. And when you can get information and donations on one platform, and then you can use our platform to have projects that you can use to help yourself and everybody else, it's just a match made in heaven, the way I look at it. And so it's a pleasure for us to partner, with 14 Eagles, because we have the same mind, we have the same mindset, we have the same heart set. We want to change people's lives. And so, as I always say, there's a difference in being broke and being poor. Being broke is an economic condition, which means you can change that. And that's what these two platforms help you do. But being poor is a disabling frame of mind and a distressed condition of the spirit. And that's why, as Carolyn mentioned on our webinar tonight, people committing suicides. Kids, they're suffering from poverty and not getting the right education, so they go out and kill themselves. And we have to help stop that. We have to have our little part, but we want to do it worldwide, and we want to prevent this from happening. So we're elated to partner with 14 Eagles, and we're going to stay together, and we're going to change this world. Peace and blessings. Thank you, Brian.
Thanks, Mark. And that is so true. It just hurts my heart to see people go through what they're going through. And sometimes when I go through something traumatic or bad, sometimes I have to stop and think that, sometimes I think my problems are so bad and so devastating, and then I got to stop and think there's somebody else that's worse off than me, that doesn't have the opportunities that I have. And that's just crazy. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people out here trying to help people. They are. But they're doing it in a system that's working against them. And so we felt that the only way to really, go against that system, the only way to do it is to get out of that system and create our own system. And so that's what we've done here. And so we hope people can really see that. Because, see, once we once we get people to see that mentally and expand their consciousness, then these webinars will be packed out. It will be packed out. And see, and unfortunately, we have to approach people in a way to where we have to put money in their pockets for them to pay attention to what they need to pay attention to. We have to use the money as a tool to get people to wake up and see what's going on. This is a real deal. A lot of people are going to look at these platforms that we have, and they're going to think that this is just a little hobby or a little something to do, because it's not a lot of money going into it. But they don't realize the amount of money that can come back from it. Can you imagine taking a $2 gift to 3 people, a total of $6 in 14 Eagles, and ultimately ending up getting over $6,000 continuously from 3 $2 gifts? That's unheard of. And another webinar, we'll go over the numbers on how that works, because people don't really realize how simple this really is, but we make it hard. We make it difficult. This is a new year. You know, our motto, we're getting ready to put up on our website the new motto that we have, that Greg coined it. We're going to give from the heart, we're going to share the love, and we're going to accept our blessings. That's what 14 Eagles is all about. So what I want to do real quick, I want to bring up Greg Phillips. He's one of the facilitators of 14 Eagles. Without Greg Phillips, I'm literally saying the truth here. Without Greg Phillips, 14 Eagles would not be here today. He is the one who inspired 14 Eagles to continue, because the 14 Eagles was going to be gone a long time ago. And we knew that this moment was going to come one day where people was going to need this platform. And we're in the time now where this platform is definitely needed. And so what I want to do is I want to bring Greg up to close us out. Greg, you open? Unmute yourself.
Oh, now I'm open. I wasn't open. I'm sorry, guys. Thank you again, Brian. Thank you for those kind words. And Mark, we again appreciate your input and letting people know the power of both of these platforms working together. One quick thing I want to touch on is, like Brian was talking about coming together and working together. I have a friend of mine. He's from a part of Russia that he has a big family. And he was saying, now this may sound a little strange, but I understood the concept, because as Brian was saying, keeping the money in the family, keeping it circulating in the family. He said that in his family, their cousins marry their cousins, their second, third, fourth cousins. And I was like, well, why did you guys do that? He said, because we keep the money in the family. You know, and I was like, wow, that's interesting. And that's what we're trying to get everybody here to understand. You know, let's keep the money in the community, and then that's how we become wealthy. As Brian said, you keep circulating $1 in the community 7 times, and eventually everybody will become rich. And that's what we want people to understand. I just want to close this out real quickly by saying, Brian, to you, I sent you guys a video, a couple of people a video. It was called Thrive. I don't know if you got it yet or if you saw it yet, but I think that's something that I would love for you to send out to the family so they can take a look at it. Because going into 2020, you know, that's what we're going to need to do. We're going to need to strive together to make this thing work. And it's going to have a lot of information about what the 14 Eagles platform has been talking about for years. And we want you guys to see it, because sometimes you hear from Brian and myself and Mark over and over and over again. Sometimes you got to hear from a different voice to get a different view of it. And that's what I'm hoping that everybody gets a chance to do. It's about 2 hours long, but it's very, very important. Like Mark said before on one of the other calls that we had, is about, you know, understanding that the universe is not random, and you don't need to be random either. And we waste a lot of time, by watching TV and, playing games on our phone, going to work and stuff like that there. But if you listen to this video that we have for the next 2 hours, it may change your life. It may make you realize that this is a very, very serious thing that we're dealing here, and it's a very, very serious thing. We're up against some very, very powerful entities that don't want us to be successful. So with that, I'm just going to close it out. Brian, I know you want to shut off the recording,
right.
but we want everybody to know that this recording will be sent out. We want everybody to know, as like we say, we like to leave no stone left unturned, so make sure you get this out to your friends and family. If anybody has any questions, anything like that there about the platform, anything about the videos that we have, please speak up now, because that's what this is about. This is about sharing our mindset. It's about, conversing with each other to get ideas to see how we can all help each other. So with that being said, Brian, you have the floor, and you can shut down the recording. Let's see if anybody has any questions.
All right. Thanks. Very good.